6-ish years ago, I went through a breakup, and to be honest, I felt pretty darn lonely in it. I felt like nobody understood. I felt like people were against me, even though he was the person that had cheated. And I just wish that someone had told me these 7 pieces of advice whilst I was going through it. So if that's you, you're going through a breakup and you're struggling, then here I am, and I'm gonna make your life and your heartbreak a hell of a lot easier to deal with. And I've saved the most important till last, so make sure you stay all the way through and hear the one at the end. The first thing that I wish I'd understood is that hurt people hurt people. This guy had been cheating on me throughout the entirety of our relationship. He had been the opposite of the person that I thought he was. He was not loyal. He was not honest. He was not communicating. He was not the partner that I thought that he was. But I started to assume that there was something wrong with me. I started to assume that I wasn't good enough in some way, that I'd done something wrong, that it was my fault, that it was me that had caused this to happen. But I wish that someone had explained to me then that people who feel good in themselves, people that are in a good place, don't cheat. People that are in a good place don't lie. People that are in a good place are able to communicate effectively. They are open to being honest because they either recognize that they need to improve on some things or they have nothing to hide. So if your ex was actually quite toxic, stop trying to take the responsibility for that. Yes, there are things that you can take responsibility for, and it does sometimes take two, but hurt people hurt people. Think about what your ex has done. Would a monk, would someone being their highest self do what they did? If not, then it has nothing to do with you, and that person really needs to go and take a good look in the mirror and then go and get some therapy. Number 2, please, please, please listen to this before it's too late. Do not get drunk. If you are in the depths of despair, of heartbreak, don't get drunk, especially not around other people. You will end up texting them things that you shouldn't text them. You will end up doing things that sober you really would not approve of, and it's just not a good idea. Strong emotion plus alcohol is just an accident waiting to happen. I personally wish that someone had stopped me going to 2 parties whilst I was in my grieving phase, because safe to say, looking back, I would not have gone. And similarly, if you're somebody that is a bit of a rebounder, I would highly urge against that. The third thing that I wish someone had told me at this time was less contact is better than more contact. And if you can, try no contact at all. To be honest, I did quite well in the first week after finding out what he'd been up to. My mum was really great at basically telling me not to reply to anything straight away and taking time to mull it over. But after that first week, as I started connecting back with this person again, I started sending messages quickly and before I'd had time to really think them through. Less contact is better than more contact. So take your time before replying. Your brain will try to convince you that it is really important to reply right now, but it's not. Take your time, and actually when you take your time and leave them on read, you're the one in control, and it's much better to feel like you are the one in control than the one desperate for a reply back from them. Number 4, find an activity that helps you to feel a little bit better or gain clarity. So for me, I randomly started doing a lot of swimming in the immediate aftermath of finding out what my ex had been up to. And there was something about being completely under the water without being able to use my phone. My phone was obviously locked away in the changing rooms and I was far away from it. But there was a real kind of peace in just doing laps, being under the water where sort of your sound was muffled, being able to think, but also the movement allowing you to think a lot more clearly. And that process of swimming was really, really, really helpful for me being able to listen to what my mind was trying to tell me. I know that my mum, she's a big runner, so when she's struggling with something mentally, she'll go running. For me, in that situation, I haven't really gone swimming much since, but in that situation it was swimming. So find a activity, and it probably is some kind of movement, even if it's just walking, that gives you that peace and that perspective that it can be quite difficult to get otherwise. Number 5, write your thoughts down. At the time of this heartbreak that I was going through, I didn't keep a journal. I didn't write things down, and so instead I would find myself talking about him in this situation to anyone that would listen, or I would find myself messaging him or doing things that I wouldn't probably have done if I'd had more time and a more methodical process to follow. So whenever you have a thought, an angry thought, an observation, any kind of thought, write it down in your notes page or ideally on a piece of paper, and then occasionally go back to it. Cross out things that are no longer true for you. Question things, challenge things, observe what's coming up most, and you'll find that you'll be able to learn a lot from these thoughts that will change the direction that this grief takes, because you've enabled yourself to process stuff before acting upon it. Number 6, write a list of red flags and green flags about your ex. Something your brain loves to do is find certainty, either the certainty that they were an absolute idiot, or the certainty that they were amazing and you've lost the love of your life. But realistically, if you were in a relationship with them, there were green flags. But also, if the relationship is no longer a thing, there were red flags. And so it's really helpful to be able to kind of have a double spread in your journal or notes page or just a scrap piece of paper where you write kind of out the pros and the cons, the red flags and the green flags, the things that were absolutely not on with that person or in that relationship, things you didn't like, things that they didn't respect about you. And then also the good things, the good moments that you had, so that you can look at these things side by side and recognize that yes, there were good things, but the relationship was far from perfect. And yes, there were bad things, but they also weren't truly evil. Maybe they were, but I'll leave that up for you to decide. And number 7, the most important thing that honestly nobody told me at the time, and that I really wish they had because it would have massively helped me, is that yes, if you have broken up with somebody, this is the end of a chapter, but it is also the start of a new one. I thought that my relationship coming to an end meant the end of so much. The end of the future that I thought we were going to have together. The end of everything, the person that I thought I was with, the life that I thought I was going to have. It felt like the absolute end, and I had no idea what life was going to look like from then on. But nobody told me that this could actually be the start of a new, even better chapter. And that is really what I want you to remember and take away from this video. Yes, a chapter has ended, but this next chapter could be, and likely may very well be, like it was for me, the best chapter yet. My ex cheating on me ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me, because it led to me leaving somebody that was absolutely not at all right for me, hitting rock bottom and using that rock bottom to springboard up and learn about myself, to find myself again, and to become the person that I actually really respect and really proud of and can genuinely say that I love today. It led me to find the work that I truly, truly love. It led me to find a partner that is so much more suited to me. So just remember, this is the start just as much as it is an ending. It's the start of a new book or a new chapter. And I am so, so excited for you to see what this chapter or this book has in store. If you want some help, I've actually put together a little breakup toolkit that you can find linked in the description box below. You'll get access to an entire community of people going through a breakup also, and there's so many emergency tools and workshops and journal prompts that you can use to help yourself through this process. So if you're really struggling, then check it out now, and I look forward to seeing you in that community. That's it for this episode. I hope that it helps, and I will see you in the next one. I appreciate you.